Be honest with yourself. When's the last time you actually loved your hair? Not just accepted it? If you're like most women over 60, you've said the 4 costly words to your stylist. Just keep it simple, and walked out with the same flat, rounded cut every other woman in that waiting room already has. The one stylists quietly nickname behind closed doors. You know the one. It doesn't move, doesn't catch light, and worse, it's aging you faster than any wrinkle ever could, because a bad cut drags your whole face downward and hardens your jawline, telling the world you've stopped trying, when that couldn't be further from the truth. That ends today. I'm walking you through 5 haircuts that lift, sharpen, and change how a room sees you the moment you walk in. And stay through all 5, because at the end, I'm giving you the exact phrases to say to your stylist so you never wear that cut again. Let's get your hair back. If this is your first time here, welcome. You have just found the channel where we prove every single week that style, beauty, and confidence have absolutely no expiration date. Hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a video. This community is growing fast. Thousands of women over 60 who refuse to be invisible, and you belong here. Now let's get started. The first haircut on our list that will make you look effortlessly elegant is the soft textured shag. And once you understand why it works, you'll wonder why you didn't ask for it years ago. Here's what nobody explains to you at the salon. After 60, a lot of women become hyper-aware of every fine line near the eyes, every soft shadow along the jaw, and a smooth, symmetrical cut actually makes those details louder because the eye has nothing else to look at. It just settles right there. The soft shag flips that completely. Instead of one clean, predictable line, you get soft, choppy layers moving in different directions. So the eye is too busy following the movement of your hair to ever land on a shadow or a fine line. It's not covering anything up. It's simply redirecting attention somewhere far more flattering. And that's the kind of quiet trick a good stylist charges extra for. Here's the exact phrase to bring with you. Ask for a curtain fringe with point-cut layers. Never blunt scissor cuts straight across, because point cutting creates soft, broken ends that stack and build the illusion of fuller, thicker hair without a single extension. I want you to remember this part too. Styling takes minutes, not an hour. Air dry it, scrunch in a little texturizing mousse, and let it do its own thing. Because this cut was never meant to look controlled. It was meant to look alive. And if you've been quietly wondering whether short hair after 60 can still feel soft and feminine instead of severe, the next haircut on this list is about to answer that question in the most beautiful way possible. The second haircut that will make you look radiant and completely current is the modern Pixie-Bob. And I need you to let go of everything you think you know about short hair, because this is not the harsh, boxy pixie your mother wore in the 70s. Somewhere along the way, women over 60 were told that cutting it short meant giving up softness, giving up femininity, giving up being looked at, and that idea is simply outdated. The Pixie-Bob, sometimes called a Bixie, is short exactly where you need it and longer exactly where you want the softness. Think of it as tapered and clean at the back of the neck, showing off one of the most elegant lines on a woman's entire body, while the front stays longer, sweeping diagonally across the forehead toward the cheekbone. That diagonal line is doing more work than you realize, because diagonal lines read as movement and energy, while a flat, rounded cut reads as static and heavy, and static is exactly what ages a face. We both know how many mornings have been spent fighting hair that just won't cooperate anymore. And this cut is the answer to that exhaustion. Here's something that will completely shift how you see your own hair. If you have gray or silver strands, you are sitting on a texture advantage most women spend a fortune trying to fake. Because silver hair is naturally coarser and grittier than pigmented hair, giving this cut built-in texture and dimension the moment it's cut. No product required. The mistake most stylists make is cutting it too uniform, too safe. So bring this exact request with you. Ask for a diagonal fringe that crosses toward the cheekbone, not a straight, blunt line. And ask for texturizing shears through the crown to keep it light instead of helmet-like. Styling is refreshingly simple. a small amount of matte paste worked through damp hair, then let it air dry into its natural shape. This cut isn't quiet, it isn't safe, and it certainly isn't invisible. It's bold in the most elegant way possible. And if you've ever wished there was one small addition you could make to your current style without cutting a single inch off, without any big commitment at all, that instantly takes years off your face. The next haircut on this list was made exactly for you. The third haircut that will make you look polished and instantly refreshed is the soft fringe edition. And this one is different from everything we've covered so far because you don't need to change your entire style to get this result. This is about adding one single element to whatever haircut you already have right now and watching it soften your entire face within one appointment. In the hair industry, a well-cut soft fringe is quietly called salon Botox, and once I explain why, you'll understand exactly what that means for you. As we move through our 60s, a lot of us become self-conscious about forehead lines, about the little furrows that show up between the brows, about thinning near the front hairline, and heavier makeup often makes that worse, settling right into those creases and making them more visible by midday. A soft fringe solves this in a completely different way. It acts like a gentle veil across the upper third of your face. And I want to be clear, it does not hide you, it frames you. The same way the right curtains frame a window instead of covering it. Here's the exact technique to ask for: a bottleneck fringe, shorter at the very center, just skimming the brow, then gradually longer as it moves toward the temples until it blends into your layers. And the effect is remarkable. It creates a soft horizontal line that pulls attention straight into your eyes instead of your forehead. The mistake most stylists make with fringes on us is cutting them too wide, pulling hair from too far back. So remember this rule. Place 2 fingers at your natural hairline. Your fringe should never start further back than that. Otherwise, you end up with a heavy, flat shelf instead of a soft whisper. And if you're already thinking, I don't want to style bangs every single morning, here's your relief. You only style the fringe, the rest of your hair can go straight into a low bun or a clip, and it will still look intentional and finished. Write this one down because it's the smallest change on this entire list with the biggest visible impact. But if you're someone who wants more than a subtle refresh, who wants a haircut that feels like a statement the moment you walk into a room, the next one on this list was made specifically for you. The number 4 haircut on our list that will make you look bold and undeniably current is the asymmetrical statement bob. And I saved this one for a very specific kind of woman. If you're still the one reaching for a leather jacket instead of a cardigan, still wearing a bold red lip just because it makes you feel like yourself, still refusing to fade quietly into any background, this haircut is speaking directly to you. Here's the science behind why it works so well after 60. As we age, our faces naturally become a little less symmetrical, and a perfectly even blunt haircut only draws more attention to that because the eye instantly notices anything that doesn't quite match on both sides. Asymmetry solves this beautifully by letting one side fall slightly longer than the other. You create a diagonal line that keeps the eye moving across your whole face instead of locking onto one spot, and that constant, gentle motion is exactly what reads as modern and alive instead of static. The back stays graduated and slightly shorter, clearing the neck for a long, elegant line, while the longer pieces in front hug the jaw and hand you back definition in exactly the place many of us feel we've lost it. And this is where we truly come alive together in this list, because this cut looks absolutely extraordinary on silver and salt and pepper hair. The varied lengths catch every natural highlight and lowlight you already have. So the dimension isn't something you're paying extra for. It's already sitting right there on your head, waiting to be let loose. Here's the move that makes this cut unforgettable. Tuck the shorter side behind your ear, let one cheekbone and one earring show, and let the longer side fall like a soft curtain on the other. That contrast alone creates intrigue, and intrigue is what makes people look twice. Bring this phrase with you to your appointment. Ask for a diagonal graduated bob with longer face framing pieces. Never a perfectly even cut. And if you've been holding out for the one haircut on this entire list that acts like a complete facial reset, The kind stylists quietly call their signature cut. That one is coming up right now. The number 5 haircut on our list, the one we've saved for last because it's the ultimate signature cut, is the architectural bob. And if I could hand every woman over 60 just one gift today, it would be this exact haircut. Think of it as the little black dress of Hairstyles, sharp, expensive looking, and quietly doing more for your face than most people realize. Here's why it works so precisely. A traditional rounded bob often hits right at the widest part of the jaw, creating a bell shape that pulls the eye downward and adds width exactly where you don't want it. The architectural bob does the complete opposite. It's cut to land right at or just below the jawline, with a crisp, blunt perimeter that acts like a visual shelf, instantly tricking the eye into seeing a tighter, more defined jawline, even if yours has softened over the years. And that's not an illusion. That's precision engineering. I want you to remember this one detail, because it's the difference between this cut looking incredible or looking heavy. The real magic happens on the inside. Your stylist should be thinning and removing weight internally while keeping that outer edge thick and sharp. No visible chunky layers, no mushroom shape, ever. Bring this exact phrase with you. Ask for a blunt perimeter with heavy internal texture. Write it down before you walk in. This detail matters enormously after 60, because as hair naturally loses density, a completely blunt cut can sit flat and heavy against the face, while internal texture gives it lift, movement, and that floating quality that makes people stop and ask what you've done differently. Styling could not be simpler. A flat iron, 60 seconds, a slight turn under at the ends, and the blunt edge alone catches light beautifully, making your hair look shinier and healthier instantly, no extra product required. Try tucking one side behind your ear. It opens the face, highlights a cheekbone, and shows off an earring effortlessly. This is the cut that finishes the list because it does something the other 4 don't. It acts like a complete frame for your entire face, and once you experience it, you'll understand exactly why I promised you something extraordinary was waiting until the very end. You are not aging out of style, you are aging into it, and the right haircut doesn't turn back the clock, it simply announces that you're not done yet, not even close. Before you go, listen to me. 60 is not the finish line for beauty. It never was. You are still beautiful, still radiant, still exactly the kind of woman other women hope to become one day. And no birthday, no wrinkle, no gray hair will ever take that away from you, because real beauty was never about age in the first place. It was always about you. If one of these 5 cuts is already calling your name, drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one of them. And if this video helped you see your own reflection a little differently today, share it with the woman in your life who needs to hear this most. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and join a community of women who believe beauty never expires. It only evolves. See you in the next one.